Okay, so I'm going to try and teach myself how to fly an FPV drone in the next 7 days. Okay, so I'm sure we're all aware, drones like this one, the Mini 4 Pro from DJI, are super easy to fly. There's a lot of complicated wizardry which DJI puts into these drones, which does all of the work that you don't even realize it's doing for you. You don't have to do anything. You let go of the controls and it hovers in place. That's the beauty of DJI products. Literally anybody can fly them. FPV, however, completely different, and it seems with an FPV drone, if you let go of the controls for even a second, you're just gonna stack it straight into the floor. I have decided to challenge myself to do 7 days. I've never flown a drone, an FPV drone before. I'm gonna. As I am gonna try and teach myself how to fly this manually and fly full manual, I thought I'd take away the stress of having to learn also how to build a drone and solder all the parts together by getting this, okay? This is a DJI Avata, and yes, before anybody mentions it in the comments, you can see I have modified it with these cool orange props, even though I haven't learned how to fly it yet, because it was cheap. Someone said it was quieter, and it looked pretty dope. Now, I went for the Avata because you can still fly it full manual. It's supposed to be pretty tough and durable, and if you do have a panicked moment and you think you're gonna crash, you can press the pause button and it will go back into normal drone mode, much like this guy here. The annoying thing is that the Avata only comes shipped with this, the motion controller. So I had to buy this separately, the DJI FPV controller. It's a little bit annoying that you can't buy the Avata just with this controller and you have to buy it with the motion controller and buy this separately, because then it gets a little bit expensive. I also went with these guys, the DJI Goggles 2. They look a lot smaller and a lot more comfortable to have on your face than the bigger DJI goggles which came out with the DJI FPV drone, the other one. Step 1. Simulators. Step 2. Fly with the motion controller. It looks like kids can do it. Step 3. First manual flight. And step 4. Go full Johnny FPV and get 6 shot. Okay, it's the morning of day 1. Let's start. Okay, so day 2, I am at a complete loss. Trying to use that simulator is crazy. I can kind of get the drone to like fly a bit, but as soon as it comes to turning or doing anything other than just kind of using the throttle to like lift up and go along, things starts getting crazy. It is nowhere near like flying a DJI drone. I'm gonna have another go at the sim today, and I'm also gonna try and maybe fly it with the motion controller, or I might do that tomorrow. It depends on the weather. It's supposed to be raining this afternoon. Let's get it on. Oh, bro. Holy moly. That is a weird, sicky feeling after a while, and it creeps up on you real slow, and then suddenly, bam, it makes you feel like you're gonna yak your lunch everywhere. Morning, day 3. A lot has changed. I didn't get to go out yesterday and try flying the Avata with the motion controller because the weather here is changing on an almost hourly basis as it transitions from like the cold weather to the hot weather, and it's changing all the time. Yesterday, perfectly dry, suddenly rained, torrential downpours. So today looks pretty dry. Gonna go out and fly the Avata with the motion controller. Also, I got an idea into my head that if the weather was like that, I want to be able to fly inside. The Avata, totally not an indoor drone, tried that last night. Whew, not gonna do that again. So I found something called a Pavo Pico from Betaflight. It is a tiny little drone, it's about this big. It uses the O3 air unit from DJI, which means I won't need to use any of the crappy goggles and have any of those analog rubbishy ones, and I can use it with my goggles too and the FPV controller. I'm gonna have some quick sim time, and I'm gonna get out with the Avata, see if I can fly it. Wish me luck. Right, okay, first time trying the motion controller, let's go. Alright, not gonna lie, that was super cool, but it made me feel off balance. Kind of like if you've ever had a VR headset, and when you do something like the snowboarding, you suddenly get that like, whoo, and sorry, this isn't even level, but you get like you suddenly feel like a inner ear thing, like imbalance, and you want to fall over because of the motion that you're seeing, but you're not actually doing because that's happening in the drone and you're here. Alrighty, day 4. I flew the drone with the motion controller yesterday. It's incredibly easy to use that motion controller and get it to do some moves which you can't do when you're flying manual. I think I'm finally starting to get a little bit more of a hang of the sim. I am nowhere near smooth, but I'm getting there. Just need to keep putting in the hours, and delivery turned up. Look at all these goodies that I've got here. DJI O3 air unit, a 2S battery charger from someone called VFly. It's the Tooth store. Sets of batteries, 2S batteries. The Pavo Pico kit. I've got to build this. It comes with the motors and all the other circuity board things on there. And I've just got to put this O3 air unit on here and screw some screws around the frame, just in case. I also bought some spare parts, the frame only, bits of accessories in there. The other one is the brushless frame black. One of them's got less parts and one of them's got more. So my plan today is just to build this drone first. I'm gonna get some more sim time, and if I have enough time, I'll go out and fly with the motion controller again. And then tomorrow, we're gonna have the first flight with the manual flight with the FPV controller. Alrighty, the day has come. First manual flight. I'm gonna take off in normal mode and then switch into manual mode. And on the second battery, I'll probably just take off straight in manual mode from here once I got the feel for it. I'm a little nervous. There's not so many people around here. Let's just do this. Okay, another day, time to send it. Found a new area. Think it's alright, looks kind of deserted. Let's send it. Later. Okay, so first battery, first crashes. I had a couple of times where I bounced and hit the floor there and just kind of bounced back up. I had one time where I went into a tree backwards where I was turning. Another time where I bumped the ground again, but I had the motors had turned off. So I actually had to, it flipped over a couple of times and I had to turn the motors back on. It took off from there. I didn't actually have to go and recover it, which was nice. Another battery, Let's go. Okay, last day. Gonna see if I can get a bunch of shots today, and then I can make an edit with the best clip of all that I've shot so far. I think just getting one epic shot was probably a tall order, because I'd have to be so good, like Johnny FPV good, that I could make that one shot stand alone. I think I've done pretty good. I'm gonna start flying. I got 3 batteries, and I'm gonna go to a bunch of locations. Let's do it. Right, the challenge is over. 7 days complete. I've made a quick montage of my favorite clips from the last, 7 days. Here you go. What did you think? I am actually pretty impressed with myself. I think I did a pretty great job going from 0 to how far I've got now. I would say the Avata, I know that proper FPV guys would say, oh, it's not like the ones that they build, and it's not as good as the ones they build. But literally, if you have the Avata, the barrier to entry for FPV is almost 0. The safety feature, the amount of times I would have absolutely stacked it and wrecked any other drone, but I pressed that pause button and it just kind of stopped it. I would definitely recommend anyone who's getting into FPV to start with sims and to rack up that sim time, especially in Velocidrone and liftoff. Okay, so end of the video. Are you guys learning FPV? Do you want to learn FPV, or have you already learned FPV? Hit me up in the comments down below. Let's start a conversation. Peace.